Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. Co-hosting in this video, we got Civilian Arc and Pory Nog once again. Thank you for coming to this one, and how are you both doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Doing good. Doing good.
All right, that's awesome to hear. So in this video, we will be discussing I believe it's the, geez, I can't even keep track anymore. I believe it's the sixth fight card, all right, of my fantasy tournament here, as we got lots of great fights here. Basically, what we will do is we'll discuss each one of these fights one by one and such, and we'll vote on whom we think would win each one of these fights. This fight card will come out this upcoming Tuesday, and polls will be set up on Instagram, as well as it'll be posted in the Facebook group for people to comment whom they think will win, and so on. So yeah, feel free to check out this video if you don't know any of these machines at all, as we typically do a pretty good job of explaining like what these machines can do and such, talking about their strengths and weaknesses and everything like that. Could give you a good idea and such. And so, yeah, just as a warning, as usual, there will be spoilers from Battlebots 2020. There are quite a few Battlebots 2020 machines in this fight card here. And so you have been warned. So in the main event, we got a main event that I would love to see in Battlebots 2020. I don't know if we'll get it or not, but if we do, I will be very happy, as I think Rotator and Gruff would be a terrific matchup. As Yeah, I feel like that would just be a 3-minute slugfest between those two. Just would go to the judges' decisions. Both bots have had some really impressive fights so far in Battlebots 2020.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that one at the end. We're going to lead it off with Shatter and Storm 2. That was Shatter, Battlebots 2020 bot. They got a win over Ghost Raptor in their first fight, and then a controversial loss to Malice for their second fight. They are taking on Storm 2, where we haven't seen them since Robot Wars Series 8, where they were the most expensive design of that series. Knows that bot is quite well armored. It's low to the ground. They were also interchangeable weapons, but we only saw the lifter out of them and such. Like, we'll assume they'll probably go with that for something like this and such. So, thoughts on this one, Civilian and Pori?
This will definitely be a big driving match, like a fight to see which one is the better driver. Because Storm 2, didn't have the greatest weapon in like Series 7, but it had terrific driving. And Shatter has always had an amazing driver. It it's always been well driven in all of its fights. So it'll be interesting to see how these two would adapt against each other, knowing that both of them are really great drivers.
Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like Shatter might have a slight advantage with this because like Storm Two is a well-driven bot and has a good lifter, but like Shatter's hammer is freaking deadly.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Shatter has the advantage in this one because of that weapon. I think they have by far the more effective weapon between the two bots here.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really seen much out of that lifter in Robot Wars Series 8, as it couldn't really flip Eruption, Apollo, or PP3D and such. But Storm 2 does have really low ground game, as Apollo and Eruption, neither of them could really get underneath Storm 2, as those two bots both had to like maneuver around to the sides of Storm 2 to be able to flip that thing. I think that's one big advantage Storm 2 would have if they were to take on Shatter, even if Shatter would go with like wedgelets, like what we see in that image there for Shatter. So this one, it could be a tough one to call, but I think it will
Mm-hmm.
depend on if Shatter will get the opportunity to land some hammer shots, as I guarantee Storm 2's game plan is going to be try to outmaneuver Shatter and avoid that hammer as much as possible. As we've seen what that hammer can do, it could very easily puncture and get into somebody's internals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a really great hammer.
Yeah, I do think, however, I do think this one will go the full 3 minutes, as I
Okay.
definitely could see Shatter and Storm 2 possibly doing some damage to each other or and such, but both bots are quite reliable, quite durable. I think they're both pretty well armored too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this would be a fun fight. This would be a fun 3-minute brawl if these two were to fight.
Yeah.
Anything else from you two, or should we vote on this one?
You could vote.
All right, should we do that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna vote.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think Shatter is going to win this in a judge's decision. As I think they have the advantage with that hammer being a much more effective weapon, but this will be a fun one. Now, as both bots are well driven, well armored, and stuff, like that would be an entertaining fight if these two happen to fight, even if it went the full 3 minutes and such.
This fight is probably going to be a coin flip, which is why I have this coin with me that I'm going to flip to say who I think will win. Head Shatter, tail Storm. Okay, it's Shatter.
All right, what do you think, Pory?
Okay, I have a coin as well. Somewhere.
Oh, man.
Okay. Heads Shatter, tails Shatter. Okay, Shatter.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow, you're
By
gonna do
judge's
that.
decision.
You're gonna do that to Storm too.
Wow.
Storm 2 is a nice robot, but like in the BattleBots criteria, like a lifter is just doomed. Like,
Right.
And I just feel like Shatter would like with its, especially with its Omni wheels, like it can make it sure that it's face Storm 2 no matter what. So I feel like it's at least gonna get a bunch of hits in.
Right. So yeah, we'll pick Shatter to win this one by unanimous decision. All right.
Coin flip.
Next up, we got Gabriel and Pussycat. Now, as Pussycat, we haven't seen them since really Robot Wars Classic, but that is still like a deadly spinner, as it has done some damage. It took out Razor, was probably their big opponent they managed to take out. I think they've made the grand final episode a few times and such, and
Yeah.
taking on Gabriel, who is one of the most unusual designs in Robot Wars. Now, as they got giant wheels, kind of like what Huge has, and then rather than a vertical spinner like what Huge has, they have a sword. Kind of like a similar design to what Huge came with for Robot Ruckus, if you've seen that but haven't seen Robot Wars. Like, Gabriel, one big difference they have with Huge is that those wheels are like incredibly durable. Like I think more durable than Huge's wheels, like the ones they went with for that fight with Son of Waiachi. Like they were able to survive a fight with Carbide, who managed to attack those wheels so many times, and they were still functional through the full 3 minutes and such. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel's a really durable robot.
yeah. I always felt bad for Gabriel as for who they got paired up with in their heat for Series 10, knowing they were another one, like we mentioned this from Crackers and Smash when they appeared in an earlier fight card, how they had Carbide, Aftershock, and Eruption all in their heat and such. Like we saw an impressive performance out of Gabriel when they fought in Robot Wars Series 8 and such, but then they still put up a heck of a show and that in that episode in Series 10, and even put up a few impressive fights in the UK versus the World event, knowing they participated on Apollo's team. So thoughts on this one from you two?
It's kind of tough because I don't know that much about Pussycat. I haven't seen a lot of fights regarding Pussycat. The most I know about it is that it's kind of a bit hard to control
Yeah.
at times.
I know they got disqualified one season because of the material in their saw when it broke, because they ran themselves into the arena by mistake and shattered the saw. And then there was major safety concerns for the bot after
Right.
that, and so they were disqualified from the semifinals and such. But yeah, Pussycat has done relatively well every other season, as well as that one too. As for getting some good wins, making to the semifinals. I think they even made the grand final one season, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was like the All-Stars thing that they did.
Probably that. Got anything, Pory?
This is a really hard one to judge. Like, I feel like for one thing, I feel like this would end up being like a basement fight. Like, I can't imagine Pussycat's weapon doing that much, and obviously Gabriel is a Thwackbot, so it's not going to be like destroying Pussycat. I feel like it's going to come down to a judge's decision, and I feel like the judge's decision would piss everybody off who watched it. Either way it went.
Yeah, I feel like this one would probably go the full 3 minutes as well. As I feel like Pussycat's gonna really struggle here. I don't know how well exactly that spinner could like reach the tip of the height or the control area of Gabriel, like what Aftershock was able to do. So it's possible they might resort to trying to attack the wheels. Of course, though, Toby is a terrific driver for his age and such. Like he was able to drive very well in Series 9. He drove Gabriel quite well in Series 10 as well. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think this one will really come down to who can land more shots and who is exactly more effective between those two. As I definitely believe this one will go the full 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else from you two, or should we vote on this one?
We should vote.
Yeah, I think Gabriel's.
Point out.
Yeah, I think Gabriel is going to win this. I'm going to go split judge's decision. I think we're going to have some coin flipping here between you two.
Heads Gabriel, tails Pussycat. Gabriel.
Okay, heads Gabriel, tails. I have a serious coin flip this time because I can't decide. Okay, it is Pussycat.
All right, we got a split decision in favor of Gabriel.
All right, I'm throwing my coin away.
Watch you need it for another one.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have
God,
Endgame and Pussycat. Now, as we'll start with Electric Ray, where you might be wondering why they're in here. We haven't seen a fight out of them. Why not put them in? That's pretty much my reasoning, along with them being requested by a fan. So Electric Ray was supposed to compete in 2019, but as of what I heard from a Reddit, I don't know if you two would know anything other than what I'm about to state or anything that's more accurate and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As of what I've heard, they went into the safety box, like they passed the safety test and stuff, like as they hopefully would want to. But I heard that when their weapons spun up, the bot like completely collapsed beyond repair, like completely fell apart. And so they weren't able to repair it in time and had to drop out. That's what I believe I heard. I don't know if that's accurate to you two or not, as of what you two have heard.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard something like that. I like how you were like, hopefully they would hope to pass inspection. Like a robot goes into the test box, like, damn, I hope I fail this inspection.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it was still a robot made by like high school kids. So I mean, high school kids built a better robot than I could make at least. So
oh yeah,
credit to them. But yeah, it's something to do with like either safety or they just stopped working in the test box, unfortunately.
All right. And then they're taking on Endgame, where in Battlebots 2020, they are currently 1-1 with a win over Tombstone and then fell to Bloodsport in their second fight.
And this is a close one.
Yeah, this could be an interest. While Electric Ray hasn't had a fight yet, like if we went based off of Robot Arena 2, where Electric Ray is incredibly overpowered in that game, like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Electric Ray is super overpowered in RA2. I don't know how much you two would agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he made the quarterfinals in my tournament, and everyone was just like, why are you having him fight Bite Force? I'm like, because the thing is OP, and then it beat Bite Force, so...
Yeah, they went against Witch Doctor and War Machines the first season and fell to them in 2 hits, and the second one which knocked them down the pit of oblivion, and which is the whole reason for that. Yeah, I forget what I want to say they're in the episode that I'm actually premiering tonight, at least that's for the day of the second episode that's being premiered. I want to say they're on the fight card, but I don't remember for sure or and such, but
watch that.
Yeah. And so we got Endgame here. They will probably have a similar armor configuration if they went up against Electric Ray that they had against Tombstone and Bloodsport. And they proved that they are like reasonably well armored here. It mostly comes down to, I think, their reliability and somewhat their durability as well. As that's kind of been a problem for them in the past. And I think those are some of the issues they had in their fight with Bloodsport that caused that downfall and such. Thoughts on this one from you two?
I mean, Endgame is such an impressive spinner. I had my doubts about him in 2020, but he's definitely been a very skilled robot. Even if it did lose to Bloodsport, it's still a very impressive robot that's definitely improved. I don't Electric Ray. The idea of Electric Ray is pretty smart. So if in best case scenario, if Electric Ray actually competed, it would probably do really well if they passed the safety thing and the bot worked to 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah. It, if it worked as intended, it probably would have gotten a few wins. I don't think it would have gone like super deep because it's a new team that I'm sure. I'm if I recall correctly, they didn't even like build like a smaller robot prior. Like they just were like, hey, I want to build a robot, and immediately jumped in with a 250-pound robot, which I probably wouldn't recommend, but they did it, and props to them for that.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, they made a bot that's undefeated, so
Yeah, they haven't lost a single fight, so
yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I feel like Endgame overall would be able to like control the fight, as that I think they do have the advantage weapon wise. But if like some of the issues they've had in the past come back to bite them in this one, that could be a problem for them. That I really think that could be their big downfall. All if this fight was to happen, but you never really know what could happen when two bots enter the battle box and such. So, anything else you two want to say about this one, or should we vote on this one?
I'm ready to vote this time without a coin.
without a coin, I know my answer this time.
All right, let's have you two just share it right away.
End game.
Endgame.
Yep,
Yeah.
Endgame for me as well. All right, next up we have Helichopper and Malice. Helichopper is another one like Electric Ray, but different reason for why they didn't compete that season. Basically, they came in 2016 with their spinner with this nasty spinner bot. When they came in for their safety inspection, they were able to pass it despite them catching fire. If you haven't seen that, those are on YouTube, actually, on the Battlebots YouTube channel. I'd suggest checking it out, as it's quite awesome to see. You would notice that thing spun up to, by the time it spun up to full speed, it caught fire because of their motors overheating. Now, I'm pretty sure that weapon spins up faster than Tombstone can, or spins up faster than Tombstone spins faster than Tombstone.
In theory, I don't know if it's a proven thing, but that's what they claim, at least.
Yeah, they were, despite catching fire and being able to repair all that stuff, they did pass their safety inspection, but they ended up getting disqualified because of safety concerns involving the arena, as I definitely could believe that they could obliterate parts of the arena worse than any bot has so far, because that bot is...
If they worked as planned,
Yeah.
I know they were really salty about it. Like they were like getting really mad, and they were like, "Oh, they were like making fun of Team Kraken in particular. Like, these guys are pirates. They're dumb." They give it's like sort of like a tirade like that. But I'm not a believer in the Helichopper. I mean, they had all these claims, but I mean, when they attempted to do it, they burst into flames.
Yeah. So their opponent is Malice, whom is a BattleBots 2020 competitor. They're 2-0 right now with wins over Axe Backwards and Shatter. I am betting, I haven't asked the team or talked with any team member about this, but I feel like they would most likely go with their big red spinner for this one, rather than the purple pain spinner. Now, as they said in a post, that they go with the purple pain spinner specifically for overhead attackers like hammerbots and sawbots and stuff. And this is a full body spinner here. How I feel this fight would go is it would probably be a slugfest between those two, unless if Malice just chooses to hang back, hope that Helichopper catches fire again. I don't know exactly what they were going to do. I feel like they would most likely go in for a slugfest because their drivers are really aggressive driver, and they told me when they took on Son of Waiachi in one of my previous tournaments that they would box rush Son of Waiachi because their weapon could spin up faster than theirs and such. And yeah, they definitely have the driver where they could succeed at that if they came at Helichopper with a similar strategy to that.
Oh yeah, because I mean, Helichopper, like let's say in theory that it does spin at the speed and the efficiency that they claimed it would be, which I don't think it did, by the way. Yeah, I'm a hater, but I feel like if in theory, if that could actually be the case, that's gonna be a long spin up time. I'm talking like Valkyrie looking fast in comparison, sort of spin up time. Like it's probably gonna take like 15 seconds or something.
I think the video on their spin up test was like a minute long, something like that, and I think they caught fire like 40 to 45 seconds into it, something like that.
Yeah, like that takes long to spin up, especially like just the way it's designed. So unless like Malice is like stuck on the floor or something, like I don't foresee Helichopper getting up to speed at any point in that fight.
Yeah. Anything else you two want to say about this one, or should we vote in it?
I'm ready to vote.
Need a coin for this one?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose Malice. I don't think, like what you guys have said, I don't think Helichopper is ever gonna be given a chance to get up to full speed, and I honestly think Malice can win it by knockout in this one, as I feel like they could do some severe damage to Helichopper with that spinner.
Malice knockout 45 seconds.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm gonna go with Malice because even disregarding what Pory said about like spin up time, Helichopper does not look well armored at all.
That too, yeah, that's a good point.
Like one hit from Malice would probably break the entire thing. So I'm gonna go with Malice by KO by 50 seconds.
All right. So unanimous decision for Malice. Next up, we got Nelly the Ellibot in free shipping. The first time, at least if I'm talking Battlebots 2019, that Nelly the Ellibot has gone up against a non-spinner. They are up against a push bot of free shipping. Notice that Nelly the Ellibot might look a little different from what we've seen in 2019. That is because that is the design that Nelly the Ellibot would have come with the Battlebots 2020 if COVID did not prevent them from traveling down here. Now, as the big improvement that I've heard is that the hammer is improved. Like it can hit harder, fires much faster, including it states in the Battlebots wiki that if Nelly the Ellibot misfires with that hammer, they'll likely flip themselves over, but then they can self right through their hammer and such. So I think Nelly the Ellibot stands a much better chance, and through their design improvements and the fact that they're up against a push bot rather than a huge spinner.
Yeah.
For this one. So yeah, they're taking on free shipping, who went 2-2. Well, not counting exhibition fights in
2019. 1-3.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, 1-3?
It should have been 1-3 because I don't agree with the Railgun Max fight.
Oh yes.
I think it should have been 2-2 because I disagree with the free shipping Yeti decision.
Yeah. Yeah, that one you could definitely make some cases in. Like both those two fights were each really close.
That's yeah.
Free shipping took a loss to Hydra, then took a possibly controversial loss to Yeti. Then they got a pretty good win over Bronco, and then a possibly controversial win over Railgun Max. And I think their exhibition fight was a win over Texas Twister, if I remember right.
Yeah,
they beat Texas Twister.
Yeah. So thoughts on this one, honestly, because this is one of few times we've seen free shipping go up against a hammer bot, while Nelly the Ellibot, we rarely see them go up against a non-spinner bot and such.
Nelly looks really improved. Before I give out my thoughts, Nelly looks really improved. It definitely looks like it had some potential if it went into the 2020 season. But, I mean, free shipping, Gary Jin is an amazing driver. Like, it's probably the best driver of the sport, or in the running for best driver of the sport.
Definitely.
So, it'll probably be a pretty close fight. I could see this one going to the judges, probably. Definitely a fight that would go the distance.
I agree.
Yeah, it's definitely a fight that would go to the distance. I mean, Nellie's definitely improved. Like that hammer bonks harder than ever before. Like the videos I saw were very impressive. But free shipping, I feel like would probably have advantage just because he's such a good driver, and presumably they'd show up with a lifter that could actually lift. Um, Also, another concern is the fact that I believe the armor on top of Nelly is like plastic, and free
Oh,
shipping has the
Oh,
flamethrower, so
that's good to
that's
know.
another
that's a
point
good
of
point.
concern.
Yeah, that's definitely a major
But
possibility. Yeah, I feel like Nelly Yellowbot's going to be trying to cause damage with that hammer as much as possible because I think free shipping is probably. I don't want to say this. I don't want to assume it. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like free shipping is probably the lower to the ground machine between the two, and of course, I definitely agree that Gary Jin is probably the better driver between him and Sarah and such. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely agree that this will go the full 3 minutes. That's and such. And anything else you guys want to say, or should we vote in this one?
I'm ready to vote.
yeah, we could vote.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go free shipping and a judge's decision.
I'm gonna
Yeah, me
go
too.
with free shipping.
All right. Then
Mhm.
you, Pory.
Free shipping, judge's decision.
All right. So for our next battle, we got Ironside 3 and Firestorm, or a Robot Wars battle here. On the left side, we got Ironside 3. We haven't seen them since Robot Wars Series 9, where they made the grand final episode and made the, I believe, third place, knowing they got more points than Aftershock did in that episode, and so on.
Yep.
And they are taking on Firestorm, a Robot Wars classic with that front hinged flipper. They got third place. I want to say they got third place twice in Robot Wars, the first 7 series. I know at least once, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I know for sure they made it there once as they ended up having to redo the fight with Hypnodisc, and Hypnodisc had to forfeit, so Firestorm was given third place. Case through that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
and also Ironside 3, they almost came to Battlebot. I think that's the one that's
yeah,
supposed to be
they were gonna
Spitfire,
come
right?
they were gonna come with Spitfire, I believe it was, a massive
Yeah.
horizontal spinner, as of my knowledge. But
Mhm.
then yeah, they weren't able to make it because of travel restrictions.
Yeah.
And yeah, in case if you don't know, Ironside 3 does have a self-righting mechanism for that. We
With a
might not have
little
seen it.
thing.
We didn't see it in the grand final episode because Carbide destroyed it in their opening round battle.
I
Yeah.
think
Or in
I
their
think he used
opening.
it with eruption. I think I
No,
might be wrong. He didn't. Oh,
no, he got flipped over and that was it. Because yeah, in their fight with Carbide and Concussion, Carbide destroyed it beyond repair.
wow.
So they were without it for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I think you even see it in the picture, like that little black stick. I think that's
Yes.
the
Yeah, that's
self-righting
not.
Yeah,
mechanism.
that's the
That's
self-righting
self-righting.
mechanism and such. So thoughts on this one while I look up to see what Firestorm's placement were.
I think Ironside is actually kind of the perfect angle to not get wedged by Firestorm. Because if Firestorm fought a bot like Carbide, I could see Firestorm wedging Carbide. But like Ironside's blade is kind of like it can hit at a very low angle, so it could like hit the side of Firestorm, making it so it couldn't wedge Ironside in.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it would. I feel like this would be fairly one-sided. As much as I love Firestorm, I love front hinge flippers. I gotta say, like Ironside is a beast. So like, I feel like they'd have a very good shot at this.
Yeah, I never even thought of that the range of that spinner might help them like evade Firestorm's flipper. So I never really thought of that, but that's definitely true. As long as like the wedge of Firestorm doesn't like cause them to like catch on to the wedge and cause them to get underneath. And Yeah, they got third place many times, actually. They got joint third place in Series 3. They made it to the round one of the semifinals in the fourth wars. Fifth wars, third place. Sixth wars, third place. Seventh wars, there's round two of the semifinal. Also,
Damn.
yeah, really good, actually.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Not
so
bad.
on. And so yeah, Firestorm did get third place more than twice. So yeah, this would definitely be. So yeah, Firestorm's definitely not one to mess around with, even though they are a classic here. But yeah, I do think Ironside 3, like what you said, will probably give Firestorm quite a lot of trouble with that spinner or theirs. I believe they do have a long blade for that and such, possibly for that purpose too. I wouldn't know for sure but
Yeah.
so on. Like this would still be a relatively interesting matchup.
Oh yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else from you two, or should we vote on this one?
I'm down to vote.
About yeah.
I'm gonna go Ironside 3 by a knockout.
I think Ironside 3 by a knockout in like
He went silent again.
Yeah, you went silent again. Here, what's your vote?
You can hear him like mad.
What's your vote,
He's like,
Pory?
My vote is Ironside 3 by a knockout in a
Wi-Fi is
minute
the
and a half.
most pathetic thing ever
Oh,
invented.
There we go.
He's
So
back.
Yeah, Ironside, 110 seconds.
all right, 110 seconds, so a minute 50. That's what I'm getting by that.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got the bonus fight next, where we have Aegis, who will take on Megatento. Now, as Aegis, we saw them in the in the most recent episode of Battlebots, where they took on a big spinner bots, and that fight did not go very well for them, as they were KO'd relatively quickly. And so now they're up against Megatento, who has two weapons here. They have that plastic ladybug head as a clamp, and they also have a tiny vertical spinner, which we haven't really seen it do exactly the most damage there, but still it could do something to Aegis and their armor, and never know what could
Yeah.
happen. So thoughts on this one?
I like the design of Megatento. A lot of people give Lisa crap about like, ooh, it's a plastic weapon. I like the design overall. I think it's kind of smart. I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
Yeah, like overall it has done some big things and such. No,
I don't agree with the Stinger decision, obviously. I hate that decision. It's the bane of my existence. But I like the design of Megatento, and it's kind of smart.
yeah, like it's such an unusual design. Like it's so unique. And it's relatively hard to fight as well.
Mm-hmm. It's a very different robot. It's a very unique robot. I would actually like it if a smaller bot like returned.
One big question I would have for Megatento. Oh, Lisa Winter would probably know the answer to this way better than any of the three of us. We haven't seen Megatento ever fight a flipper bot before. If Megatento got flipped, can they either self-right or drive upside down? As for what I think the answer is no, but I could be wrong about that.
I think they can self-right. I don't think they can drive upside down, but I'm pretty sure that the sandbox can like go like high enough to it could get it back on its wheels.
I don't think it can self-right, but I think it could lift itself at an angle where the wheels could touch the ground and move Megatento and help Megatento self-right by herself.
And at the same time, I don't think Aegis could flip Megatento. Like we haven't seen that flip really in action. I've heard they had like a lot of gremlins when it came to the weapon, like when they were like testing it, which is probably why Fusion was their first fight, because they probably were struggling to get into the box to begin with. But I'm not too confident in Aegis actually successfully flipping Megatento.
Yeah. like we saw Stinger like it's constantly like attempting to flip Mega Tento, even though that's not exactly like a pneumatic flipper or something like that, and they still like couldn't flip Mega Tento over and such,
Yeah.
and that kind of gave Stinger a lot of trouble in that fight, even though they were able to control a vast majority of it, and that could definitely be a big characteristic and a big thing to think about when pairing these two up with each other.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. This will definitely be an interesting fight if these two were to ever meet in the arena for real one day.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, you two got anything else, or should we vote on this one?
I'm ready to vote.
All right, one of you guys want to go first this time?
I'll go first. I'm going to go with Mega Tento by a judge decision. I don't think Aegis can flip Mega Tento. I think Mega Tento will be able to outdrive Aegis and pull off a judge decision victory.
Exactly what he said. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm going to go kind of the opposite a little bit. I'm going to go Aegis with this one. I think Mega Tento is going to be winning the vast majority of this fight, but then I think Aegis pulls off a flip that manages to help them like control the rest of the fight, like whether either control the rest of the fight if Mega Tento can self-right or drive upside down, or wins the fight that way and such. I'm going to go Aegis on this one, but I think Mega Tento will have a really good go at this one, have a really close one, and pull off a major epic performance. All right, so 2-1 in favor of Mega Tento, I believe. All right. We have the main event for this fight card, which features Rotator and Gruff. Rotator, in their first fight, had a controversial loss to Beta, and we got Gruff, who had a win over Hypershock in their first battle. So, what do you two think about this one? Now, I would love to see this fight. As this would be two major titans like clashing in the arena if these two fought for real in Battlebots 2020.
These two bots are really good strategic wise. Both Victor and the gruff guy, I forgot his name, have great drivers. They're
Yep.
Yeah, they're both great strategists and they're great drivers. So this would be like a very entertaining main event.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. As I think both bots have like the durability, the reliability, the power in their machines to go the full 3 minutes. And I think both of these bots are going to have some major moments in this one. I think this one will be very similar to, I could see Tombstone and Gruff, as well as the main event from the most recent episode, Witch Doctor and Kraken. Yeah, I think both bots will have some huge moments in this one. And this one would probably be close if this one went the full 3 minutes, which I feel like it would.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Gruff would probably have a slight edge with this, with control, but I feel like they still might not edge it out just because Rotator would do all the damage most likely, if I had to guess.
Yeah, Rotator would make up for its lack of control with its powerful weapon.
Yeah, I feel like Rotator would probably come in with their wedgelets, like the same configuration they came in with for Beta and Axolotl over in the Bounty event, and I think Bronco I want to say Bronco as well, if I remember right. Yeah, I feel like they're going to do that, try to get some control stuff in there, like what they were doing with Beta in there, and possibly point at them like how they did with Axolotl. Too. I'm not sure exactly what Victor Soto's strategy would be with Gruff, but I imagine they would probably come with a configuration like that. I could be wrong, Victor. Feel free to comment if I would be incorrect or when I post this video and stuff.
I hope you're watching, Victor.
Yeah.
Hi, Victor.
What's up, Victor?
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, this would be an entertaining fight. Like Gruff and Rotator would be challenging opponents for each other. Like this would be a main event worthy fight. As both of these bots would go all out in this one, and this would be really entertaining. Even though we haven't seen these two bots fight, that's what I feel like it would be like. Yeah, no,
I would love to see this fight happen for real.
Yeah.
Control would definitely be leaning towards Gruff because I think they are the lower to the ground machine and probably have the more push power. But I don't want to count out Rotators. Those wedgelets prove to be low to the ground. But then Rotator would probably edge on damage a little bit. Now, as they have I think the stronger weapon between those two is probably between Rotator's spinner and then Gruff's lifting forks and their flamethrowers as well and such.
Yeah, this fight would definitely go to the judges.
Yeah. Aggression could honestly go either way if these two go all out with their primary weapons. So this one, I think that Civilian, I have a feeling you're going to regret throwing that coin in for this one. Well, I don't know, unless if you have an idea for who you think will win.
I see my coin right now. I'm grabbing it.
This would be such a close fight between those two. I think I know who I would vote for if these two were to fight, but
I got it.
I would be so happy. Like, this is one fight where, like the Tombstone and Rotator one, where I picked Tombstone to win that one, but
I got my coin.
There are very few fights out there where I will be mad for picking them wrong or anything like that. Like, this one would definitely be one of those where, yeah, you gotta be happy for either machine and for like proving you wrong and stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, you two have anything else you want to say about this one, or should we vote on the main event?
I'm ready
for that coin flip.
All right, while Civilian coin flips, my vote is going to be Rotator. I think they are going to edge it out with a judge's decision in the damage category for this one. I'm not sure how aggression will be scored, but I think Gruff will take the control area. And then without deciding how aggression is going to be scored, because I imagine it's going to be 2-1 in somebody's favor, I think Rotator will slightly edge it out with damage.
About where I am with that, I feel like Rotator's going to do most of the damage, and it's going to be sort of like the Tombstone fight, only not as much of a bloodbath.
Yeah.
But I think Rotator probably has it, but just by a little, like maybe split decision.
All right, what do you got, Civilian?
Heads Rotator, tails Gruff. Gruff, which is kind of where I was already at. I don't know why I grabbed the coin.
Split decision. There we go. Yeah, which that's how I expected this main event to be. As yeah, both bots are very well built, very durable here. I imagine this one would definitely go the full 3 minutes and would be another very close fight, as we've seen so many of those throughout Battlebots throughout this season and the past few and such. If this fight was to happen, I would love to see it. This one would be an amazing one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, anything else from you two as for this fight card?
Coin flips help win fights.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so thank you for watching this video. Now, this fight card will be released this upcoming Tuesday for followers and other fans to vote on. I hope you enjoyed watching this thing, and I will see you for the next podcast.